Captain Rick Rock TV. Let's get to the content.
You know how many people right now on the block hanging with their partners, drinking, smoking, doing everything that, gangsters, thugs, criminals do every single day. Imagine being with your family. These your boys. You done made them your family. And when it go down, y'all got to go put in work, slide for your people. Your people who done got unalive, your people who done got ratted on. You got to go ride. Put that work in. You go put the work in. Police get behind you. Pull you over. After you did all this, put all this work in with your partners. At that moment, you decide, I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go to jail, man. I want to stay free. The next thing you do is tell the police, man, I know about some hot ones. I know about some unalivings. I know about some murders. How less time this gonna be? Let's make all this go away. What I got caught with, this firearm, whatever else I got in the car. I know about this. Can we make this go away? That's the type of stuff we're looking at right now, man. No loyalty in this game, man, whatsoever. Let's go check this out. This is OTF Jam's second day of testimony. It was crazy. Let's go check it out, y'all. See what's going on. Let's go.
All right, so I'm here outside the courthouse. Not too many Free Durk fans out here. I don't know. Maybe they was sleeping in today. No Free Durk fans that I can see. But basically, there was a very crazy update, and what ended up.
Let's stop right there, man. You got to stop. He letting you know y'all ain't doing nothing. Y'all ain't stopping nothing. Y'all done pressed up on me, but y'all not running me off. I'm still here. I'm standing on business. I'm coming to get this content. See, they was only there for a moment. They was only there for a moment. The gig is up. Especially if it was people who ain't had no business down there, was, slipping down there. So let's get back to this.
What happening was basically OTF Jam was back on the stand for the whole first half of the day. He ended up saying some pretty crazy comments, especially at the end. So I'm going to start at the end and work backwards. But they basically asked Jam, they said, why did you choose to cooperate? What was your motivation for this? Why did you turn on Lil Durk? And he basically said, I was mad at Lil Durk for putting me in that situation. And I'm still mad at him now. He said that Vonnie seemed like a goofy to me. I did something that I know I shouldn't have done. And the last time I did something with people that I didn't know, I did 12 years for it. I was doing this for Durk's selfish reasons. Maybe Cuz and Dee Dee had a reason to do it. I didn't have no relationship with Von. I basically didn't know a whole bunch of these people that were sent on the hit. He basically said, I feel like Durk sent me on selfish bullshit. He said, I can't forget all the support that Durk gave me, especially when I was locked up. I can never forget that. I still got love for him. But he says, look, I know how it looks now, but I still got for him. Blood was there for me. I can't forget that, and I feel bad for telling. But at the same time, I still love him, but I don't respect him.
You don't love him. You love what he did for you. Put money in your pocket, making sure you was straight while you was in jail. That's what you loved about him. You don't love him. You love what he did for you. It's crazy, man. Now, y'all think that he's somebody that trustworthy? You should believe in court. He in a situation. He's trying to get out this jam. His name is OTF Jam. He's trying to get out the jam. So of course he gonna say what he got to say to get him out. They still got to prove it. It still got to be facts. It got to be proof. But man, that's cold, man. Dude took care of you, took care of your family, and you get up in there, you already caught. Why you want to take somebody else down with you? I guess he said Lil Durk is going down. I'm going down. I'm taking Lil Durk down with me too. You ain't going to be on the streets having fun, partying. I'm sitting up in here because you sent me on a mission. Well, you had a choice. You had a choice, Jam, and you took whatever came with it and went and did what you did. You didn't have to do that. But you didn't want to stop. You didn't want the blessings to stop coming, the money to stop coming.
He said that he could be killed for his testimony for cooperating, and then he also kind of pointed out a couple of things that really just motivated him, that why in this occasion did he decide to tell. He explained there were multiple reasons. He said he felt like the hit was done sloppy. It was done with people who shouldn't have been there. Obviously, he said that he thought Vonnie was a goofy, and he said there's a big difference between doing something to somebody that you don't like, but he said in this case he felt like Lul Pab ain't have nothing to do with it. He said he felt like an innocent man got killed, and it weighed heavily on him. He wanted to get it off his chest. He said he didn't think it was guaranteed that he would get caught, but he thought about it. He thought it was hot. He said, why do we go and do this in LA with all them rich people and actors around? He said that was a bad place to do a hit. So the prosecutors actually asked him, they said, look, you testified and you pled guilty for your role in the LA shooting as well as 2 other murders. You know, what are you hoping for from this? He said, well, I'm hoping for a reduction in my sentence, but he made it clear there's been no promises made. He's not getting out. I'm not going to lie to you. Jam having 3 bodies, he probably shouldn't be out here walking around straight after this. But he basically said he pled guilty with the 2 other murders. And, you know, he just basically wanted to get it all off his chest. And he said it was weighing heavily on me what happened to Lul Pab, and he saw an opportunity and he took it. So it was some pretty crazy testimony. That last part when they kind of broke, you know, he said it straight out of his mouth. He said, I still got love for Durk and I can't forget what he did for me, but he put me in a bad situation with some goofies. It was selfish and I'm not rocking with it. So that was pretty crazy, but there was a whole lot of other crazy.
Knock it off. Knock it off. Now you realize you went with some goofies. You didn't think about that when you got. Come on, man. Hey, I'm not going with them, homie. Yeah, I got something else I'm doing. I'm not rolling with them. I don't know these dudes. What kind of idiot go put in some work, unalign somebody with some people that he don't know? And in this case, it don't matter if you knew him or not. You the one that's telling everything. You could have did this by yourself. Durk he didn't put you in no situation. You seen an opportunity, man. You thought you was gonna get away with it. I'm gonna tell you right now, that was the bad play. You never come to Hollywood and do anything. This is the land of the cameras.
Testimony that Jam put across, and I'm going to tell you all about it in different videos. So stay tuned. I'll keep you guys updated on everything. And yeah, it's going to be a crazy day. I think he's going to be up there all day, maybe even into tomorrow. So we just got some crazy new information about how it went down.
He gonna be up there all day. This is second day. What do he do? Sleep on the stand? Oh, he about to tell on everything. Hey, listen, man. If he can't get that much time reduced, he didn't already told. Imagine all the other stuff he know. It's somebody else gonna be in jail next.
When Jam got arrested and decided to start cooperating with the FBI. So apparently he was arrested in 2023 for something completely unrelated. He was pulled over in a car that apparently had a gun in it while he was still on parole from that attempted murder case that he just got out after serving 12 years on. And he basically said that at that point he decided to talk to the FBI. He wanted to get it off of his chest. The Lul Pab murder was weighing on him. He felt like Pab was an innocent man and that he'd been sent on a dummy mission with some goofies by Durk for selfish reasons. And he said he saw an opportunity to get out of the situation. What was very interesting is when he got arrested, he basically wrote a handwritten note to the FBI. So what he claimed is that he said that he was allowed to make a phone call. He said the official phone wasn't there, or it wasn't working. So they said, look, we'll let you make a supervised recorded call on your cell phone, but like that's what we're gonna have to do. We'll allow you that. So he made a call, and then he told the cops, hey, can I have a bit of paper to write down a phone number? They said sure, but he didn't write down a phone number. He wrote down a handwritten note which said this exactly. It just said, I know about murders. I don't want to talk on camera. I know a lot. So
that mean they got away with it. They didn't know nothing. They didn't know who did what. All because you got caught with a gun and didn't want to go to jail. You was going to go to jail anyway. You wouldn't even, you would be out, man, living life, enjoying life. They would have gave you a couple of years, man. Now you're going to spend the rest of your life in jail.
he gave that handwritten note to an arresting officer. That basically was then, worked its way up the chain to the FBI. And the prosecutors asked him, they said, why didn't you want to be on camera? Obviously, this is going to be a big controversial thing when it comes to Brian Steele. Obviously, he was absolutely clapping back. I believe it was yesterday, talking about why weren't all of these interviews recorded? You spoke to Jam 30, 40 times. You barely recorded any of those interviews. Well, this is kind of a slap in the face to Brian Steele, because Jam said specifically, I don't want to be on no camera. And they said, why didn't you want to be on no camera? Now, this is crazy, all right? He said, well, I didn't want to be on camera because a lot of people have been getting exposed on their body cams doing embarrassing shit,
It don't matter. You in court right now getting them. They got a picture of you. I swear these criminals don't think it all the way through. If you knew you was going to tell, you knew you had to get on stand. What you thought you were going to just tell us what happened? They didn't get you on. They fit to use you to watch him up and watch you up too.
They be getting exposed on social media for telling on the body cam, snitching, crying, which is obviously a reference to a very infamous Chicago video where, you know, one of the shorties from over there was kind of apparently caught on a case and he was bawling out, crying to the cops. And there's been a lot of rumors about whether that case was connected to the Jam case, whether that kid that was crying in the body cam footage might have had a dirty gun that Jam had used in a different murder. So Jam made direct reference to that. As I would have said in my previous video, Jam made it clear. He said, look, he was mad at Lil Durk for putting him in that situation. Even though Durk did a lot for him, he basically said he's still mad at him. He put me in a situation with goofies. He didn't trust Vonnie. He didn't know why he'd been put in that situation with him. And basically that's why he decided to make that decision and speak to the FBI. Who knows what sort of time he's going to get? I mean, allegedly, not even allegedly, he has admitted to 3 murders and, you know, allegedly there's more. So he definitely getting some serious years. I can't imagine them just letting him go. But they made it very clear. He's not been offered a deal. They've not promised him no time. He's not getting out of everything. He basically is leaving it in God's hands and cooperating. And he didn't say.
You definitely left it in God's hands, and God's making sure that he keep you off the street. You're a psychopath. See, they got to prove Lil Durk paid you anything for a hit, but for sure, you didn't already admitted to 3 hot ones, 3 hits. God got you right in the place where you need to be at.
I cooperated to get out of time. He said, I felt bad about this. It was weighing on my heart and Pab was an innocent man. So a lot of the Durk fans have been saying there's no evidence, no one was ever paid, there's nothing. But it turns out, apparently, Durk might have actually finessed all of the hitmen, allegedly, out of any money. So we heard yesterday that there was a conversation in a studio where Durk basically said to a bunch of alleged OTF members, like, look, anybody that kills Quando or Lil Tim, you're going to be straight. And somebody said, are we talking like half a ticket or $1 million? And Durk just said, hey, you're going to be straight. You ain't going to have to worry about nothing. So basically, apparently all these hitters that got involved in this hit went and did their thing. It sounds like nobody ever got paid. OTF Jam said he never got paid anything by Durk, even though he was definitely expecting something.
Thought he said he got 50,000 a hit. He never got paid, which would probably be the reason why he turning on him. Because if you would have paid him a meal ticket, half a meal ticket, he'd have a good lawyer right now. He would have had that money put up for a lawyer. Especially if he know he out here doing unaliveds. I don't think he wouldn't have no lawyer money put to the side.
As far as the murder, he says he was never paid anything. But what is interesting is that he said, all right, because Brian Steele was licking his lips thinking, oh, he didn't get paid, this is going to be lit. But then the feds basically said, but you were expecting something, right? Because that conversation in the studio, people talking about meal tickets and Durk saying you ain't going to have to worry about nothing. He was like, yeah. And then they said, Jam basically said, look, I was never a rapper. I'd never dropped a verse in my life. And then within a few months of the murder, I was recording my first song, the Federal Freestyle. I got paid $10K for that, and it was on the OTF Loyal Bros album, okay? I think it was Loyal Bros 2. Obviously, I've said before that this album is like the ultimate self-snitching album. It's basically got back-to-back confessions. Booney Mo got a song on there called They Know That We Did It, all right? So that's what was going on, okay? He got his 10K, but apparently everyone was getting finessed. Apparently, 2 of the other shooters that were there, they were basically on Vonnie's ass talking about when we're going to get paid at the In-N-Out, and apparently Vonnie gave him the slip. He basically put him on the phone with Durk and said, basically, they was asking, yo, Vonnie, are you going to straighten out the money? They got Durk on a FaceTime and he said, I got them. They're going to be straight. And then they left. So I don't know if Durk ever paid him anything after that. It sounds like Durk might have inferred that people was going to get $500,000 to $1 million for killing Quando. And then basically he just didn't give nobody nothing afterwards. Maybe he thought that was going to be slick. And like, oh, if I promise hitmen something and don't pay them, then are they going to be able to get me?
I don't think he'll play with no hitman like that. People that actually went out according to all this and put some work in and actually send somebody to heaven or hell, why would you play with them and not pay nobody that you know will come get you? I don't believe that.
Not sure that's really going to fly, but I'm sure if anybody is going to make that point well, it's going to be Brian Steele. But that was pretty interesting. I'm not going to lie. Jam getting 10K to appear on that project definitely was interesting. I thought they were going to play the Federal Freestyle. They didn't play it. They just showed it. They showed the cover art for Loyal Bros 2. And I ain't going to lie, the Loyal Bros 2 cover art was looking sus too. It's just 5 hooded masked individuals. And you thinking, wait a minute, isn't that exactly what was sent to go and kill Lul Pab? So that wasn't really a great look either. I'm not sure if too many people picked up on that. But yeah, you know, this whole thing of the hitmen being paid, and obviously it wasn't mentioned, but even there was a lyric that was shown earlier. You know, Brian Steele lied and said it was Quando when it wasn't. It was another Savannah rapper. But that song where they said, oh, shout out Lil Tim, I mean King Tim, it wasn't Quando. Brian was wrong. But what they didn't draw attention to is elsewhere. He basically said, oh, I heard there's a meal ticket. And obviously the rumor was it was going around pretty much within weeks of Von's death that there was $1 million bounty on Quando's head. So arguably that's been proven to be true, but not many people have pointed that out yet. But anyway, that's my opinion. I'll be back with some more updates for you guys soon. Oh my gosh, so I just heard something crazy in the courthouse about Durk. So Jam, he's on the stand, he's going crazy up there. When Durk allegedly was on FaceTime with him before the hit, Durk told Jam, hey, go crazy. Well, I guess he wasn't expecting him to go this crazy, but allegedly Jam was pissed off about what was going on, you know, with the hit. He felt like Pab was an innocent man. He felt like he had been sent on a dummy crash out mission. He didn't know Von like that. He wasn't part of the beef. He was frustrated and he felt, you know, low-key pissed off with Durk that he had sent him on the hit. He actually allegedly FaceTimed Durk to confront him about this, and he said that Durk answered and he was at his crib with OTF C3, all right, and he said, I asked Blood. He said, I said to Durk, like, out of 1 million people you could have sent on this mission, he said, I just did 12 years. Why you have to send me on that dummy mission with a bunch of people I didn't know?
Why did you go on a dummy mission with a bunch of people you didn't know? Man, you asking for them. You asking for it, man. You going to jail, man. You knew better than that. You cannot blame that on. Take responsibility, man. You did that because you was broke and hungry and needed some money, man. If that's what you said happened. You said you got paid. You had an option, man. You had a choice. This ain't number. When I do reactions, man, this don't be number learning experiences, learning lessons, man. Take it and run with it. You see what's going to happen. This is the outcome. You do not got to think about what's going to happen to you when you do dummy missions like this.
And apparently Durk cut Jam off. He didn't even let him finish. And apparently Durk just responded with a smile. He said, I love you, Jam. He said, y'all didn't hit Quando, but you hit Pab. Pab counts. He was on the internet saying he was smoking on Von. And he can't say that no more. And he was just smiling. He said Pab had been disrespectful about Von's death and that basically it counts. That's apparently what he said. And Durk was smiling at him on FaceTime while that was going on. And what's crazy is Pab later said the reason why he told is because he felt like this whole thing was weighing on his conscience. They killed an innocent man. Pab ain't have nothing to do with nothing but Lil.
He told because he got caught riding down the street with a firearm that probably had some bodies on it. That's why he told. And he looking like, man, I don't want to be in jail for the rest of my life. And these dudes out there free, they go, man, he want everybody to go down with it. He want to go out with a bang.
Durk allegedly didn't see it that way. Now look, if you've seen the long 4-hour documentary I did probably like 2-3 years ago now, I've known about this case for a very long time. I did a documentary called Demon Slayers, all about King Von and Lil Tim and all of the things that have been going down in Savannah, Georgia before this happened. If you've seen that, you'll know that, no disrespect to Lul Pab or his family, but you know, he was on a Clubhouse call with OTF members dissing them. He put up a few tweets that were kind of making fun of King Von, and he was standing on business with the Rolling 60s in Savannah, Georgia. He had his own RICO case that he was going to be facing. If Pab was still alive, he might have been facing these RICO charges to do with a car theft ring. That's no disrespect. That's not to say that he deserved it. He wasn't there when Von got killed. And this didn't sit right with Jam. Apparently, basically, Jam kind of thought, like, this isn't what I called about. He was surprised that Durk was talking so hot on that phone. He said, I called to ask why he put me in a situation with goofy dudes that I didn't know. And then he just starts talking about, yeah, I love you. Like, you didn't hit Quando, you hit Pab, it counts. He was on the internet saying he smoked. So he was just like, what the hell? Like, I didn't understand. He said, I wasn't close enough to Flucker to be doing that with him. He sent me out there with goofies that I didn't know. He said, I just wasn't feeling it. He said that he basically kind of just went along with it. He said, yeah, he agreed with what Durk said about Pab and got off the phone. And that was it. And he said, I didn't get no payment for this. I just thought, what the hell? Like, this is just nonsense. So, yeah, I think Lil Durk was obviously happy about what went down. But the way Pab saw it, he'd been roped into killing an innocent man, and obviously he didn't even know he was there to kill Quando until he'd arrived in California. So he said that he no longer respects Durk. All right, so I just see Kanye for the first time. I just see Ye in the courthouse, okay? And basically, it was pretty crazy to see Ye in the flesh. He kind of walked in late. He wasn't there for the very start, but it seems like they low-key be treating the celebrities like VIPs in court, because Machine Gun Kelly was able to cut past all of the media a couple of days ago. Ye managed to get in, even though there was a giant line and he was late. You know what I'm saying? They was making it work for Ye. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Ye stared me down. He looked over to me and just stared me down for an extended period. He looked at me for longer than Durk did when Durk stared me down. I'm not going to lie. I was a little bit like, I'm really in the courthouse getting pressed and intimidated.
No, that ain't what it is. That's because they know what you're doing. You making money off the content. They know that they know what you do. They didn't watch your stuff. Ye know who you is, Trap.
By Kanye West right now. This is straight mind games, okay? Now, what was interesting is he looked down for a lot of the testimony. OTF Jam was literally on the stand. We got Durk, Jam, Ye, me, all in the same room at the same time. It was surreal. Now, one thing I will say, and I'm going to criticize Ye for this, okay? Every time the jury enters and leaves the room, you have to stand. You have to rise for the jury and the judge. When the judge comes in on his own, you have to rise for the judge. And the judge made it very clear that the jury is actually above him when it comes to justice. It's the jury that are making the decision. So the judge, as well as everybody else, rises for the jury to show respect for the importance of the jury's role. You know who didn't rise for the jury? Kanye West. He didn't rise for the jury. He wasn't respecting the jury. He wasn't respecting the justice process. And I'll be honest, I don't respect that. I thought that was very disrespectful. I thought that was just not proper.
Come on, man. You know who Ye is. Come on, man. I like you don't know, man. Y'all know what time it is with Kanye. You don't respect none of that stuff. Anyway, man, leave y'all thoughts in the comment section. It's Compton Rick Rock with Compton Rick Rock TV. Subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 100,000 subscribers. We almost there. Yeah, man. What do y'all think about this, man? I want to get all y'all thoughts. I do look at you guys in the comment section. Some of you guys comments I use in my videos. Some of the stuff y'all say, I actually say in the video for the people who put the comment. They know exactly I'm referring to what they said. I'm gone, man. It's Compton Rick Rock. Catch all of y'all on the next reaction.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, Compton Rick Rock TV. Also, hit that notification bell and catch every video when I drop.